Hello, 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 ladies. Welcome back to another episode of the Create and Grow Your Dream Business podcast. I'm so amazed and happy and excited and exhilarated for today's conversation because here's the reality. What we're going to be talking about today is really going to put us in a space of transformation. It's going to put us in a space of elevation. And as I have this beautiful queen here, Miss Treya, it's going to put us in a position to prosper, right? And this is what this Women Becoming More series is all about, is us connecting as women and being in a space where we are ready to prosper, and more importantly, where we're in position to do so. So before I jump in with all of my excitement, I would love for you, Miss Tria, to introduce yourself. Let the ladies in the Queenhood community know more about you, what you do, and how it is that you position your women to really take their lives to the next level.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm really, really humbled by this opportunity. And thank you for letting me share with your audience. So, my name is Treya Cook, and they call me Coach Treya, AKA the Purpose Coach. And I am really, really excited about speaking to any male or female woman, man, anyone, even young people who are looking to find their purpose. So I'm a purpose coach. I love to help build visions and help support visions and dreams. I help build businesses for a living, and I help with life coaching, business coaching, and just holding people really accountable to their next level. Because I know that accountability is really key. So I am the owner of Position to Prosper Coaching, where I do offer all these services that I just spoke about. I've been helping people establish businesses since 2012.
Yes, 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 yes. And so I have to jump right in with the question that I know is going to be so unique to you.
Okay.
How important do you feel it is for people to have purpose-driven businesses versus just a business they think is cool or will make them money? How important is that
Mhm.
purpose?
Yeah, so the first thing that came to me was purpose versus passion,
Mm,
or even like purpose before play or pleasure, because sometimes people can have an eye for something because it looks like a lucrative business, but then your heart isn't there. For me, purpose is about what's attached to your being, your heart, everything, your DNA, like every fiber of your creation was called to this earth to produce this particular um, whatever it is, this genius that only you have the DNA to produce. So for me, that's purpose. Purpose, you can get pleasure out of it without the profit because it's just you, and it
mhm.
makes you feel joyful. But the beautiful thing is you will actually make a profit in your purpose because that you're just craft to do it. You're called to do it. So money would actually be attracted to you, and it'd be so easy and effortless versus you trying to do something for passion or pleasure or play, where it might be temporary, that you okay, it might be a fad, it might be here today, gone tomorrow. But when
Right.
you're in your purpose, you can do it all day long, and you are so fulfilled, and you'll never stop getting like doing your purpose, and you'll never get tired.
Yes, and that you're it's like I can't agree 100% more than that because I even find that in queenhood, it doesn't matter. Of course, I'm gonna make money in the business, right?
Okay, yeah,
But like you
yeah,
said, the fulfillment comes when on an everyday basis, I know I'm walking in my purpose of helping women build their confidence and helping women
yeah.
be more consistent. And so, of course, now I have to like merge us right into like the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is because you mentioned it a little bit as well. Purpose is something that's like God given, it's divine, it's in your soul. And oftentimes, what we find is that we grow up in environments where people have molded around us that we should be doing this or we should be doing that. So as women, when we try to transfer into purpose, the
Mhm.
dream killers are sitting right there.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the key that you just spoke about dream killers being right there when you're about to touch your purpose, they're there to try to get you to fear or doubt yourself.
Mm.
Because one thing about purpose is individual. So you may have your purpose, I have mine. And no one can tell you about your purpose but God, the one who gave it to you, the one who created you to do X, Y, or Z, right?
Mhm.
But unfortunately, because we have parents or we have teachers or we have mentors or we have siblings or friends, best friends, colleagues, whatever, even enemies who may think that they know your life better than you do. And they'll have their idea of what they think. Oh, well, honey, I think you're a fabulous dresser. So you should be a fashion stylist when you really like, I want to be a talk show host. Like, for instance,
Mm.
you know what I mean? So we cannot allow, right when you're at the cusp of breaking into your purpose, we cannot allow dream killers to stop us from busting through that glass ceiling and going after it. So don't let dream killers or fear, because I believe everything that can stop you is always centered around fear, to create fear, an illusion of failure.
Right. And, you said something that was so powerful. And I know that someone listening to this message is going to be able to take it. Oftentimes we think dream killers are the ones that talk bad to us, but you just gave a different perspective. Sometimes the dream killers come in confidence, like you said, like, oh, you're a beautiful dresser. I love your outfit. I love your hair. I love your makeup. You should totally do XYZ. And sometimes we think that it sounds like you're not good enough to do that, or you're not good enough to do this, but sometimes it does come from people that quote unquote want the best for you,
Yeah.
but God wants better.
Man, and for me, I appreciate people who want the best for me, but don't debilitate me
Mm,
to get there where you want me to be. Let
mm,
me have at least a little bit more of my freedom to choose so that I can fail forward versus I'd rather fail forward than be in a land of, well, what if I would have did it and I followed my path
mm.
versus listening to X, Y, and Z. I don't want to live with regret, right?
Right.
So I appreciate people who really genuinely want the best for you, but don't force anyone into a zone because it's your idea of success for them. I feel like, again, it's about individual purpose. And of course, you might have a group purpose. You might have a best friend, or even, for instance, your spouse. You and
Mhm,
your spouse has a purpose to get to come together and fulfill something. So that will be an um, an example of group purpose. You know what I
mhm.
mean? A collective purpose. So that's different. That's when, okay, we could take the opinion of another. But for me, I would say, I appreciate you, but don't you have a purpose to get to? Like, I'm gonna get to mine. I appreciate your feedback, but I feel like God is calling me here. Let me explore that.
Yes, 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 yes. And I would love to share an example of something that I personally went through, and I would love your point of view on it as well.
Awesome. Let's go.
Yes. So I had a friend and we consider each other sisters. You got that one
Hmm.
friend from back in the day, and it feels like more than friends, right? And when I was 18, I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia, but I moved to Atlanta for college and I lived there for like 10 years.
Cool.
This friend in particular, she is from was from near Savannah, but like lived in a smaller town her entire life, right?
Okay.
And so, of course, when I went off to school, I lived this whole life. I experienced freedom for 10 years by myself. And then of course, the transformation that happens when you go more into womanhood, you recognize that while freedom may be fun, having a partner is good. Creating a family is really fun. But for this friend, it was the opposite, right? She didn't
Mm,
experience the freedom. She started the family earlier. And so what I recognized was that subconsciously, she would say these things to me like, get the land, get the bag, get the dog. You don't need a man. You see, like you want to just be free. You don't want to be tied down. You don't want to have these problems. And what I didn't recognize that while as she verbalized these things, they had laughter put on the end, but what she really was trying to do was like swap our lives,
mm,
put
mm.
me in a space of experiencing what she was going through, while secretly she had the desire to experience what I had already been through, which was the freedom. And I did not know until when I tell you, like literally recently, earlier this year, that she was a dream killer.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
No
Yeah.
clue.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, I mean, that right there was like a let me try to live vicariously through you.
Yeah,
And like that's a little bit that's a little bit deep. Like
yeah.
that's very deep, especially when you consider a person a best friend or a sister. It like went past like friendship, like it was deeper. And so there was a bond. And we have to be careful with how deeply we bond with people who may have that type of motive or
Mm,
motivation. And when we sense it, we have to be very clear. Okay, I see it. And what I like to tell people is be okay with seeing it, but not necessarily always feeling like you have to say something to like defend or deflect or like protect yourself.
mm,
I feel like knowing people's motive is a gift. Discernment is a gift. And not every time that you have discernment and you see something means that you have to say something,
mm,
but just kind of letting your actions say something for you so that you won't hurt them. Or if it's an opportunity to actually tell them in a nice way, like, hey, that's not going to work for me. I actually really desire this. You know what I mean? And thank you for loving me. If there's space for that, cool, right? Effective communication is key. But if you didn't feel like they would receive you, if it was perpetual and it was like forceful and always dream killing, I would literally dial back. I
yeah,
would not, I would start like fading out, like in a very healthy way, but like distancing myself, adding some comfortable distance. Like, I want you to see me in my element to where as though you would then see that what I have is worth having,
yeah,
right? Like this dream I have, once I get it, you'll see that light on me and you'll be attracted and maybe you'll change your mind. But maybe I need to get away from you in order to get that done so that I can do the work for me to come back and maybe shine and save you or get you together. However, you know what I'm saying? So it's I just like the fact that you noticed it. So I would say to anyone in your situation, give yourself credit for being aware. Like so many people, they will beat themselves up because of the fact that this person is dream killing. Okay, it's true. But what do you
right,
do with that information is what's going to make you powerful, more stronger, and everything doesn't require a fight.
right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So it's not a fight or flight. It's a, you know what? I have wisdom enough to be able to just say, girl, I see you. You're a little bit messy right now. I'm going to go this way and
Right.
I'm going to love you through it, but from a distance because I have a dream to go fulfill and you're not going in that direction. So
Yes.
I believe in also making healthy boundaries and honest separations. Um, not making a fight about it, like and having bad blood. I like if anything you can do to keep peace, keep peace, but bye bye, peace up. Like really, like y'all say the A, peace up, A down. Like, yeah, give it a peace in both ways. Go
Yeah,
about your business in peace and give it a hands up peace. Like,
yeah,
I'll talk to you later on the other side.
yes. And I'm so happy we're able to talk about this right now and the relatability is here because I feel like as women who desire to become more,
Mm,
we must admit that there is a big shift between the friends that you have at 18, the friends you have at 28, the friends you have at 28, and the friends you have at 38. And it can become so hard at times for us as women to have to like take off those rose colored glasses and say, I have to move forward. And like you said, it doesn't always have to be strife or arguments.
mm.
And sometimes you can't have that conversation with that person. And I'm a person like, I'm so fun, I'm so chill, I'm so like up and up and up, but I'm very like passive aggressive when it comes down to conflict. So it's easier, like you said, for me to slowly but surely dial back my energy
Yeah, yeah,
to give it all. And I do believe that there are some women who are going to listen to this episode and say, wow, I totally can relate. I have that friend
yes,
now who
yeah.
I didn't know was killing my dream. I thought she was just being funny.
Yeah. And so when I heard you say dial back your energy, I heard that as also like AKA for anybody that may be listening, I heard that as dial back your accessibility.
That's exactly what that is.
That is what it is, right? But that person does not have access to me as intimately anymore, as frequently anymore, because I put up healthy boundaries around my space so that I could soar without waiting someone trying to weigh me down. If
Yes.
anyone is an eagle and they're hanging around with pigeons,
You were going to say pigeons?
I was trying not to have to say pigeons because the difference is one bird is meant, both of them are birds,
Yeah.
but one of them were meant to go really high, far, and excel
Yeah.
fast, like with precision, with bullet. Like I'm focused. I have the goal. I have the aim. I know where I'm going. And the other one looks at the ground and stays on the ground, and they do not fly. And
Mm.
they would say, "We are similar. We are alike. We are literally one. You should be like me." No, ma'am. Actually, I'm such an eagle that I will convince a pigeon, you better get up here and start flapping your wings. Hey, you're going to be one of the first pigeons to fly around me because I'm sorry, it's either sink or swim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and for me, my faith says that anyone that comes in my space, they're going to thrive
Yeah.
because I I control what I can control. So anyone in that God sends to me is to either ignite them or nothing.
Right. Right.
There
Right.
is no dream killing for me because I know I'm called to create, to birth, to help be a midwife, to help people learn how to fly, soar. I mean, I'm a leader from the front, middle, or the back. Like it's whatever God, whatever position I play, I'm either a seed planter or a waterer.
Right.
But at the end of the day, God is the one that's going to get the glory and the increase out of whatever we sow into people. So,
Yeah, that's deep. I'm telling
yeah.
you, you hit it with so I already know which part of the recording will be promoted on social media because you're killing it right now, okay? Like you're literally transforming the mindsets of the women, right? And I'm even speaking from an energetic space because you and I know it's only me and you on this video right now, but I
Yeah.
literally already have the chills for the women who will listen to this because like you said, it's really about like that seed and planting it to recognize what has to grow. And it makes me think about the concept of sometimes you're the seed, sometimes you're the soil, but you never want to be the saboteur,
Mm, that's it.
right?
Yeah.
And we really have to recognize as women that we have so many gifts within ourselves that can multiply, and we're meant to, literally, like only women can have children, right?
Well,
We're meant to multiply these ideals, multiply our finances, multiply who we become as women. And sometimes you're in the multiplying state, but then other times you're the soil, right? Sometimes you got to go, sit at Coach Tria's event and you have to listen to her. You have to let her pour into you. You have to be that soil that soaks in that water and that fertilizer and all those things. And sometimes our limiting beliefs will make us the saboteur of ourselves,
mm,
right?
mm, yeah,
And sometimes we think the dream killer is the friend when sometimes we're the dream killer.
totally, totally. But I agree with you 100%. Like you have the word enemy, but then there's also inner me.
Mm,
Whatever that voice, that inner voice that is telling you the lies. But I always believe that it is stemming from something that you heard from someone else. It always goes back to who affirmed you or who didn't affirm you.
yeah, I was
Get what I'm
totally going to
saying?
take it there next, but you
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
there.
because you're on it too. And for me, like that inner me can be shaped by words that have been said to me, whatever I took in as truth, whatever I saw as truth, whatever I believed or dreamed as truth that ended up not being the way it is. I talked to someone today and they were just in a state of depression because their expectations for an event, a certain outcome, did not happen the way that they really thought it would go. And so they were beating themselves up
Mhm,
because of the expectation that did not go the way it needed to go, or she or he decided that it can go. And
mhm,
so for me, it can be so many different ways how we can be our own enemy when we don't learn to let go, process, like have that moment, right? Because even flowers, they have a state of rest. When the sun goes down, they droop, right? But in that morning, I always tell people, you can feel the pain just one night,
right,
one night. But then when the sun comes up, that
mhm,
new day, you get up
right,
and you get yourself together and go out there and soar, try again, fly again. And so for me, we can have that feeling of, okay, that inner me, don't believe, doubt, fear, whatever, but then shake yourself off because
mhm,
we are human and sometimes life can blow, throw us a blow. And we have to shake it off. I believe even the blows are meant to just show us that we have to walk in humility. We have to walk in grace, give ourselves grace, others grace. I feel like it's just to give us a ding dong. You're still alive. For me, if things were going perfect, it'd feel like a dream. And then
right,
you'll pinch yourself like, am I dreaming?
mhm,
Sometimes we need a sense of reality that I am not in control of everything. I am under the power of God allowing me to be so amazing. It's only by his strength. That way we won't have to feel like we have to take on all the burden
yeah,
or all the pain or all the pressure to be great. And
yeah,
so for me, I feel like it is such a key thing to know that we can be emotional sometimes, we can feel the pain sometimes, but give yourself grace to grow in whatever direction, but don't be your own deterrent, don't be your own destroyer. Like,
yeah,
yeah, just operate and flow out of your grace. That is my key. That is key. I give myself grace. Like I
yeah,
forgive myself. And if I make a mistake, I am recognizing my error and I'm like, okay, let's do it again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Quit.
And you said something, two things that I want to touch on. One thing, like you said too, it is, and I've learned this as a woman and in business. you actually want to fail forward. You want to have times that don't turn out the way you want because how else will you learn? Like you said, if life was perfect, you literally would be incapable of learning any lessons. So, how could you then teach anybody anything if
There
you've
you
never
go.
had a situation?
There you go. I love that. Oh my goodness. Imagine you or I literally only had success. You will only have success in one area. So
Yeah.
the only thing you could talk about is that one success. I
Right.
mean, where could we go with that? And there is no testimony without a test.
Mm.
So all you have for me is, oh yeah, it was perfect. It went perfect. It's like,
Well,
wait a
okay.
minute. You have no testimony for me to say, oh, I can do it too. But
Yes.
what if I get out there and I fail? Then I'm looking at you like, wait a minute, baby, you lied to me.
Right. Right. That's so
Yeah,
powerful that
yeah,
there is no testimony
without a test.
without the test. And then the second part of what you said earlier that stood out is when you said we are under what I thought you were going to say was under the influence. And what it made me think about was how much we are under the influence. Oftentimes, when we think about that, we just think about like drugs
Or alcohol.
or alcohol, right? And then here's the reality. One, we are under the influence of God. And when you know that, you just move different. Like it's a whole different vibe.
100, 100%,
Right.
100%.
And then when you recognize, okay, if I can get that together, now I must ask myself, now what am I under the influence of? In the worldly realm, do I look at women and when I see them positioning women and men to prosper, am I jealous? Am I
Mm-mm.
envious?
You
Am I
move
looking
different.
like, well, why she get to do this? How she's doing this?
Yeah.
We have to be under the influence of
Mm.
recognizing that we have a time and a place to grow ourselves, right? It makes me think
Yes.
about when I love to garden, and
Okay.
at one point in time, I grew small sunflowers, and then I also grew like giant mammoth sunflowers,
I
right?
love it. Uh-huh.
And they grow at two different points in time.
Yeah, totally.
Right? So I couldn't
Yeah.
look at both sunflowers. We can't look at you as a coach and then I'm a coach and then we say, well, why is she growing so fast? Why can't I grow as fast? And then here's the reality as well. Everybody don't like giant sunflowers.
Everybody don't like giant sunflowers.
Right? You got that one woman or that group of women who come in like, I want many sunflowers. That's all I want today. Like going to a restaurant. You may have your favorite meal at that one restaurant. Your husband and children, they may try something different every single time they go.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
You being under the influence of yourself will allow you to say, I'm not going to feel bad about eating the same meal. I'm not going to feel bad about walking in my purpose. I'm not going to feel bad about supporting the people that I'm meant to support because I'm under an influence that feels good to me versus one that feels bad.
So what I heard you say, of course, under the influence, but what you just hit on was you are in the flow. When you're under the influence, you are under the of course, God, number one, but you're in the flow of purpose.
Yeah.
So you are intoxicated with
Mm,
fulfilling it, right? And so, getting wavy, you're intoxicated and indoctrinated. You're absolutely all in. And when you have that and you're locked in that, you're in a different realm. Now
yeah.
you're in the spirit. Your soul isn't crying. You aren't hating. You're elevating. You are literally in the spirit crushing it because right there is that's the sweet spot that people lack. If you don't have an awakening spiritually, you really cannot get to, I don't believe you can get to that flow, that intoxicating beauty where you cannot hate on your sister or brother for winning. Actually, I am a part of your team. I cheer you on. I understand what this life is really about. It's not about, you know, because after this is gone, then what? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so for me, um, I understand there's a spiritual level to purpose.
Mhm.
And that right there, people who meet each other and know that, they lock in.
Yeah.
And so it's like love at first sight, or we understand. So I am a sister in that way, where I won't harm you, I will help you, I will give all my resources to you without fear that you'll harm me back, because I'm out there. Like,
Yeah.
and for me, I don't have to. Of course I can guard my heart and use wisdom, but when I know, right? It's that discernment, it's that knowing. And what I also heard you say was, don't get caught in comparison. Comparison traps are real, especially in a social media selfie type of world, where everything is a real, everything is alive, and whatever you call it, those filters. And
Yeah.
you can paint this picture on Instagram, you can make it look good, you can do a dance and have viral instances on TikTok, and you are not mentally, spiritually, emotionally even together to handle the success, and you're not in your purpose. So by the time you're out there, like, okay, I went viral, but I don't know what to do it again, because I was just playing around with some passion. Like, it was just something that I was toying with. So for me, everything I do is with intention.
Yeah.
It's intention. And so I'm intoxicated with doing everything with intention. I wake up in the morning ready.
Yeah.
I go to sleep at night ready to dream and ready to hear more, or ready to envision, something for the next level, for my week, for
Yeah.
my day, and so it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing when you're in the flow.
Yes, yes, yes. And you said something just now. I got two things again. The first one, like you said, when you're walking in your purpose, it is kind of like love at first sight, even for women, right? It makes me think about how, like in the podcast group, and I put the post up, and here we are, like instant connection of knowing it's going to be powerful. And those are the spiritual benefits, the spiritual rewards that come with walking in your purpose. And sometimes we get so caught up on the
Wow.
tangible. Well, if I connect with her, will I get 15 clients, or will I make $100,000? But what about that feeling? What about
Mm,
that resource? What about that connection? Because I know for a fact when I get off this call, oh, I'm sleeping well.
amen.
Right?
I
I
love it.
know that
Yeah.
we had a great talk. I know I walked in my purpose today from
100%.
this
Likewise.
conversation alone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so, 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 so powerful. And then the second thing that you said that we gotta dive into is you said when you go to sleep at night, you go to sleep ready to dream. And so I have this
Mhm.
philosophy, right?
Okay. Hmm.
We're really in the sleep realm right now. And when we go
Yeah.
to sleep, that's the real life.
True. That's the create. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. Go ahead. Finish.
Right? And
I
so
agree.
you saying, and I hope it really did just break the chains for a woman that when you go to bed at night, you can't go to bed with the thoughts of the day. You have to intentionally just plant that seed in your head that I'm going to try to dream of something better, because without a dream, you have no vision. And without a vision, you have no purpose. And so oftentimes you hear the word like daydream. We're in the daydream right now.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Right. So
Hmm.
it's so important that when we go to bed at night, we have that vision for the next day that, you know what, today wasn't great. But when I go to sleep, I'm going to sleep peacefully because it wasn't even that serious. Like, did I die earlier? No.
No, I made
Right.
it through the night. And what you said, daydream.
Yeah.
I'm walking out my dream in the day.
Yeah.
I'm in my dream.
Yeah.
I'm actively pursuing that dream, which I intended to dream, or allow to. I literally imagined it. I planned. I set up steps through the night so that I can live my dream. And
Yeah.
if you weren't in position to have your podcast and put out that promotion to connect with sisters, I wouldn't be here. So you are in your flow intentionally.
Mhm.
Keep going, coming up with a new series, coming up with a new, you know what I'm saying, quarterly. You're on your game, which allows for moments like this. And even if people hear this 5 years from now, there's going to be power and force because we planted a seed now, and they're
Yeah.
going to be watered later. And they're going to just, this is the gift of walking in your purpose so that we can connect. And right here, we were meant to connect to give people some oxygen
Yeah.
because plants need oxygen.
Plant the
And so we
oxygen.
are 100%. I feel like we're seeds. We're all seeds and
Yeah.
we're growing. We're
Yeah.
growing.
That is so powerful. So, as a coach, a purpose coach in particular,
Yeah.
right? What would you say to the woman listening to this podcast episode right now that says, well, coach, I don't even have a dream. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how to put the pieces together. Like, I don't know. What would you say to her?
It's okay to recognize that you don't know.
Mhm.
But for me, you have to go after the answer.
Mm.
Once you recognize I don't know, then don't stay there.
Mhm.
Start to move toward becoming educated. First step. If you have a relationship with God, if you know God, if you have, you know, any way that you could tap in to that source who created you. And then, whether it's prayer, meditation, whether it's worship, whether it's writing down something, whatever your relationship is, I would say go to God and start right there, expressing, I don't know my purpose. It wasn't until I realized that I had something inside of me and
Mhm.
I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was great. I felt it and I was just like, God. And even if I didn't really have a close relationship with God, I remember really calling out and saying, God, why am I here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like innately, like without even being religious about it. You just know you were not created by mistake, and you know that it's something more to you. Even if you're in the soulish realm and you're just emotional, you got to know that there's a spiritual part that you just feel. You can feel it in your belly,
Yeah.
and your vision is saying something more than your surroundings,
Mhm.
right? And so, yeah, my situation might be like this, and my parents was like that, but I can see me becoming the first millionaire in my family. And so how I could see it, how do I get there? Well, God, show me, show me, talk to me, speak to me, connect me. Like, and he will answer. God will answer whether, I mean, I'm a Christian. I believe God will answer, respond to you because he speaks, he moves, and everything. So at the end of the day, I start there. Secondarily, I will get in rooms where I can glean. I
Yeah.
will partner. I mean, I would look up um, groups in my area. Like Google is 100% there to answer any question,
Right.
serious answering questions. What you have, what is that? The Amazon one, Alexa is answering
Alexa.
questions. We got no excuse
Yeah.
to be stuck anymore.
Yeah.
Like literally, man is creating answers to our questions, and we can get the question even easier now.
Yeah.
And the third part I would leave it at is once you discover, believe in yourself, believe and go hard, like pursue it. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need faith. You're going to need action. You're going to need that grit that's going to cause you to not quit,
Yeah.
even when, the dream killers are coming. So I
Yeah.
feel like we're going full circle to wrap it up. Like, even after the dream killers come, because they will, the
Yeah.
doubters come, the family members that don't support, whatever the case may be, you're going to need grit and you're going to need that faith to never come down off your vision.
Yeah.
Never come down to the ground and walk with pigeons for a minute. I would rather go up on a rooftop and just chill and
Right.
catch my breath, but I'm not going down.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I want to leave them with 2 points piggybacking off of what you're saying
Let's
as
go.
well. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Like you said, you feel that feeling in your stomach. So my first one would be, well, they're not in complete order, but one of them would be create. Oftentimes, as women, we forget what we used to do to feel good. We have to go
Mm,
back to being childlike, but not being childish.
love it.
Right. And sometimes, like you said, we get so caught up in everything, we forget. I used to like the hula hoop. I used to like to skate. I used to
Double
like
Dutch.
those type of things. Right. I love double dutching too. Like we used to like to do those type of things. And sometimes
Yeah.
we get caught up as adults, but like you said,
Adulting.
like God in that spirit will speak to us in
Yeah.
different ways. Sometimes it's not like that they think like that voice that comes down that says you should be a purpose coach. It's like
It ain't gonna happen like that.
it doesn't happen like that at all, right?
Does not. That's a
Some
movie.
right. Sometimes you get to jump roping and you get to hula hooping, and then that thought crosses through your mind, and you say, I'm gonna hula hoop every day on Instagram, and any other women, I'm just gonna invite other girls to hula hoop with me, right? So I believe that
Yes. Yes.
creation
I love it.
is like one of the main parts. Like, how can you just create joy for yourself in your
Mm.
life so that way you can get out of the low vibrational frequencies like fear and guilt and depression and
Yeah.
get into those high vibrational frequencies that are just you feel
Yes.
good?
Authenticity.
Yes.
You can't fake that.
Yep. You can't
Ooh.
fake
Ooh.
it. I'm telling you, this
You
this is
can't fake that at all. That
yes,
joy, you either got it or you don't.
right.
I
And
love what you said.
you either go after it or you don't. We can expect for others around us to make us joyful because here's the thing, and I'm so interested. I said I was going to make some content on this about social media the other day. Sometimes we think that it's the other people around us that are negative Nancy's, but it's us. And so we look for other people to make me happy, make me joyful because somebody else
Mhm.
upset me. But think about people who are joyful don't want to be around people who aren't joyful,
True. True.
right?
Mhm.
So we have to create that positive vibe. And then the second thing that you said, of course, is believe. It makes me think about my husband. When we first got together, he like never wanted to use the word believe. And he was like, I don't use the word believe. It has the word lie inside of it. And then I shifted his mindset to see that is
Mm.
the power of believing because
Mhm.
you have to believe and have faith before it ever happens. Sometimes you gotta lie to yourself and say, "Oh, it's $1 million in my bank account right now." Now you may open up your app and it's $1 million in there
And
right
it's
now,
about 250, and I ain't talking about 200.
right? But sometimes you have to tell yourself that lie until it becomes
Mm.
a reality.
Mm. Listen,
I'm telling you.
you was meant to be with your husband because he needed that shift, that
Yeah,
power shift. And you know what? It's a little bit of delusion in faith. When you think about it, it's a little bit of delusion there that one will have to be okay with.
yeah,
Because for me, you can't tell me not to have faith.
right,
My faith actually might look foolish to some people,
right,
but it's only foolish until it happens. It's
right.
only foolish until it manifests, and then you become a what? A believer. That
Yeah.
person that think, oh, that's a lie, girl. You lying to yourself. You become a believer. I'd rather. It's like, which one would you rather? I'd
Mhm.
rather live a life believing
Yeah,
and taking a chance
yeah.
than being stagnant and stuck and never ever finding out if my belief can manifest anything.
Yes, 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 yes. And for all the women who are just thinking like, y'all are already coaches. So of course this is easy for y'all to say. I just want to say this. On an everyday basis, you wake up and you do not question how the earth is still spinning on its axis. You don't question whether or not the sun is going to come up. You don't question whether or not you're going to be able to breathe this oxygen. You don't question it.
Come on.
You don't even question how you blinking right now.
Hello. Hello. How you chewing gum and walking at the same time and thinking about your food for the evening. Like we could be multiple things, but we don't question. So
Right.
don't question something that's going to give you life. Let you have wind beneath your wings and soar. Like don't question that. Just
Yeah.
jump in. Go in. Like you said, that childlike faith that's also biblical, but if I'm at a jumping, like a jump zone, a kids playground, indoor playground, and it's like those little balls, and you
Hmm.
could jump into, and it's like foam,
Yeah.
jump in,
Yeah.
jump in. Like I would say to anybody, just jump in,
Yeah.
head first, feet first, whatever, however, just get there because you're going to be met with people that's going to help you to
Yeah.
stay up.
Yeah.
Okay, because those people are also saying, I need support and I need inspiration while I'm out here. We're not coaches because we're perfect. We're coaches because we passed the test and we was able to then teach
Yeah.
what we actually endured, what
Yeah.
we survived. And so if you're a survivor of anything, you can be a coach.
Right. Right. And
If
that's the
you're a
reason why
survivor of anything,
you can
okay,
coach.
you can coach. How do you think driving instructors become drivers and instructors? Like they learned how to drive safe
Drive.
and they learned how to avoid accidents. I mean, it's the smallest things that people coach at or teach at. And so don't think that coaches had graduated from Harvard, although some may have. But
Right.
I mean, you don't have to be an Ivy League graduate to be a coach. You have to be a survivor. You
Yeah.
have to be a believer. You have to be able to transform atmospheres, spirits, souls. You got to be able to put a fire
Yeah.
under people in whatever capacity that you are called to.
Yeah.
And so for me, I say survive and then teach because it's about reciprocity. Whatever you survive, you are owed. You are actually commissioned, you're charged. You have a responsibility to go save someone else.
Yeah.
That is a purpose right there. Take whatever you have went through and whatever your testimony is and go out and make a difference. That right there is the key to purpose. If you take that, what did you keep me from, God? What did you allow me to outlive?
Hmm.
Allow me to escape when
Yeah.
I knew in my head, my fear said I would die here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That right there is the beginning. If you can see yourself encouraging someone else, you can create a group, you can create a community, and then right there, you're in purpose, baby. Like you're in purpose.
Is
Take
right.
what the devil meant for evil and turn it around for good, and you will see money, you will see wealth, you will see success, you will become the sought after
Yeah.
person. And so that's what we're doing. Not that we're doing it for likes, not that we're doing it for platforms, but it's going to come because we're doing it with the right heart and the intention to heal people and to get people in the zone where we are. So it's inevitable.
It's so inevitable. And it makes me think about two things. The definition of purpose. I wrote a book called Becoming Intentional on Purpose. And
I love it.
yes, in the midst of the book, of course, I had to look up the definition of purpose. And the
Yeah,
definition of purpose is the reason for which something is done,
yeah, 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 yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
gave it to him right there when you said, like, the reason, whatever you went through, there was a reason for which it was done, which is for you to teach. And then my last part I want to wrap up before I give you the floor to tell the women how they can work with you.
Okay.
You gave like a perfect example. Like as soon as we got the phone, I call my husband and tell him the example you gave because it was so great. Like you said, when we go to the jump parks and we jump in, right? We automatically know, which is so funny because I'm fearful of those type of things. Like I'll run a whole business, but like jumping in those, I don't really do that type of stuff. But
I'm going in.
it has a little bit of fear. But when you gave the example and you mentioned like those foams, right?
Hmm.
The mindset shift for the woman who is now ready to jump in after listening to this podcast episode, it
Hmm.
goes directly to what you said about putting yourself in environments where other people will be there for you, because when you now have this energy to jump in,
Yeah,
all those little foam squares are the women like us who will be there to support you. And here's the
that
fun thing,
cushion.
that
Yes.
cushion, right?
Yes.
And we
Ooh,
all need each other, because if
yes.
one cushion didn't have this cushion that didn't have this cushion, you might jump in, but you hitting the floor,
That part. That
right?
part.
So
Yeah.
like we're all becoming more. We are all in a space where we constantly need that cushion, because once you reach the $100,000 mark, you're going to be figuring out how to try to get the $1 million mark. And once you do that, you're going to try to figure out the next mark. So you're always going to need that one belief and faith to jump in, and you're always going to need the reality to understand that you need women around you who are going to be that cushion for you. So this was great.
A way to bring it home.
Oh my goodness. Please tell the ladies how they can work with you, where they can find you, how can they move forward with you?
Awesome. So, I'm all about relationships. So, even before wanting to become one of my mentees or one of my clients per se, if you feel compelled to connect with me for sisterhood, I want you to connect with me. My name is Treya Cook on all social media platforms, and I will be honored to befriend you. We follow each other and just be that beacon of light, or hope, or anything I might post, because I do share a lot of inspiration on all my platforms. But secondarily, positioned number two, not spelled out, but number two, prosper. Position number two, prosper coaching on all social media platforms. You can find me there. You can follow me. And if you go to position number two, prospercoaching.com, you can definitely book a session with me. I have 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 90 minutes. And I also do what is called a month of mentorship, where you can get a discount, where you'll know that you're committing to 4 weeks of a session every week, and you'll get homework, you'll get hard work, you'll get soul work. So we break down the whole entire person, because I believe we are so multifaceted, but I believe in making sure that the foundation is solid. So you can't fall hard. You will fall and fail forward, but you'll have so much knowledge to soar again. So that's how you can reach me and get in touch with me.
Yay. Oh my goodness. This chat was everything I thought it was going to be,
100%.
plus more,
I agree.
plus more.
it
And
was it was extra sauce on it.
yes, it was. Yes, it was. And my one takeaway from this would be, as you said, we have to see ourselves as eagles. We have to see ourselves as meant to fly high, meant to take our lives to the next level. And even when we feel like we can't, never take yourself down, never take yourself lower than what you're meant to be. And like you said, sometimes if you got to go chill on top of that skyscraper,
Well, you can still see everything.
hey, it's giving penthouse views,
Who don't love that? Who don't love the penthouse? I
right?
need the ocean view. I need the top. I gotta still see, because when you are there, you can still dream. You can daydream.
Yeah, you can daydream. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have you back for another episode. I already know it.
Please listen anytime, anytime, anytime. It will be an honor, 100%.
Yes, yes, yes. So, ladies, 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 if this podcast episode was everything you needed and plus more, please leave us a comment on the comment section wherever you listen to this podcast. Feel free to send us a DM, connect with us on social media, and let us know which part of this episode really stood out to you. So that way we can not only tap in ourselves, but that's way as well we can create more content on this and go deeper on new levels. So that way as women and as individuals, you ladies are ready to grow as well. So it has been a pleasure to connect with you on here. And again, any ladies who feel like this was great, let us know. I love you guys. It has been amazing. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning into the Create and Grow Your Dream Business Podcast.